Welcome to Electrical Automation. Today we are going to learn how to use a timer. We are going to learn everything about a timer, starting from its data sheet, the working principle, and the operation of a timer. We are going to use the timer to control two lamps, which is going to be our load. So we are going to send out a supply from a circuit breaker to the timer. Now before we get started, let's see the data sheet of a timer and the interpretation. So this is a timer base and this is the data sheet of a timer. Now this timer is electrical coil switch that switches from one supply to another depending on the time specification duration. So let's explain the data sheet. We have the positive and the negative terminal, which is the coil contact of the timer. Now at this point 7 and point 2 is the coil contact of the timer. 8 is a common terminal and 8 is a common terminal and 1 is a common terminal. So pin number 6 is normally open to the common terminal of pin 8 and pin 5 is normally closed. Same to this side, pin 3 is normally open to pin 1 as a common and normally closed to pin 4. Now let's do the connection to use this timer in controlling the two lamps, sending a supply from the circuit breaker. So this is my circuit breaker. So I'm going to connect the circuit breaker output to the timer base. So before that, let me connect the supply to the circuit breaker. Alright, so this is my supply cable. So I'm going to connect it to the circuit breaker. Alright, so I'm done with that. So the next thing is to connect the coil contact of the timer, which is pin number 7 and pin number 2. So I'm going to take 2 as my neutral, minus here. So this is my neutral terminal. So I'm going to connect it to pin number 2 of the timer. So this is pin 2 of the timer. Alright, so I'm done connecting my timer neutral. So I want to connect the live now, which is pin 7, looping pin 7 to pin 8. So this is my pin 7. So I'm going to bring a jumper to loop from pin 7 to pin 8 of the timer. So this is the jumper. So I'm going to loop from 7 to 8. So this is my pin 8. And this is my pin 7. Alright, so I'm done with that. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to connect the load, which is going to be pin 6 and pin 7. So this is my pin 7 and pin 8. So I'm going to connect my load to normally open, which is pin 6, and normally close, which is pin 5. So when it is normally open, it means that once the coil contact is being energized, the normally closed will remain normally closed until when the specific time that is going to be set from here reach. So when you set, as you can see, my own timer is in seconds. So when the times reach in seconds, that is when the normally open contact will turn normally close, and the normally close will turn normally open. So at that time, the load that was connected here will be disconnected, and the load that was disconnected at this point will be connected. So let's do the connection together. Now this is my load 1. So I'm going to connect the load 1 live to pin 5. So this is my pin 5. Alright, I'm done with that. So the next thing is to connect the second load to pin. This is my second load, so I'm going to connect it to pin 5. I'm going to connect it to pin 6. The first load is to pin 5, so the second load will be to pin 6. This is pin 6. Pin 6 is normally open, whereas pin 5 is normally closed. Alright, so I'm done with that. So the next thing is to terminate the two neutral together. So this is the two neutral of my load. So I'm going to connect it to the neutral bus bar, which is pin number 2. I'm going to connect the neutral of my load to pin 2. So that is the neutral. I'm going to connect it to pin 2. Alright, I'm done. It's as simple as it is. So the next thing now is for us to power the timer relay and see how it's going to operate. So I'm going to set my own time to be 10 seconds. Okay, let me use 5 seconds. 5 seconds therefore means that once the coil contact is being energized, the normally closed will remain normally closed until when it reach 5 seconds. That is when the normally closed will turn normally open, and the normally open will turn normally closed. So let's see how it's going to work. So I've slot my timer in. Once the time reach, it's going to turn the normally closed to normally open, and the normally open will turn normally closed. So let's power it and see how it's going to operate. Now the normally closed remain normally closed until 5 seconds will reach before it will turn here to normally closed. So that is just how the thing is operating. So I hope you understand the video very well. If there's any question, feel free to drop it at our comment section. Watch our previous video to get more updates of timer, relays, and contactor. Thank you.